Folks. Name is Ali Hessami. I'm been involved in local activities largely on the side of UN association and been an enthusiast and observer of climate affairs as well globally. I'm a systems engineer by background and been involved in many national environments in terms of risk management, etc. A while ago, I came across a major development called En-ROADS, developed by an organization called Climate Interactive, with the assistance of Massachusetts Institute of Technology in terms of caliber of science behind it, and sustainability initiative that MIT. And I felt this could have potential in bringing an air of objectivity and science to the debate around climate, rather than picking what's feasible or popular or favorite in a local action plan and just sticking to those. So what this particular model called En-ROADS, that is the subject of two workshops going to assist us with, is help actually understand what are the fundamental mechanisms involved in climate change, and having understood the nature of this model and its capabilities. In the first talk, we would then focus on what is it, if any, we can do to benefit from this scientific structure and forecasting capability and simulation capability to actually come down to the ground level, to the local level, and see how it can help us pick more effective ways of carbon reduction effectively. That's the fundamental cause of the temperature rise. Now, this particular model that I would obviously cover in the first workshop is kind of a simulator. It's called a solution simulator. It's basically helping understand how can we achieve our goals for climate control, and focuses on lots of areas which are pertinent. So because this is a scientific model, is focusing on what are the fundamental causes. There are 6 classes of causes that this model has integrated into a simulation. One is the energy and the blend of energy sources that people use. The other one is land use. And then it focuses on our forms of consumption and economic growth and the options we can exercise to reduce carbon emission. Then it focuses on influence of agriculture and land use. Then transportation, in terms of how much can we transit to electrification. And finally, it also looks at carbon removal capabilities, technologies, and policies. So it's a blend of basically what are the fundamental factors that lead to temperature rise globally, and how can possibly various combination of policies, from land use to industry to carbon sequestration and capture, help us achieve and avoid a major reduction, or avoid this massive prediction of rise by the end of the century. So there are 2 sessions planned. We are still in structuring and organizing these plans. These are aimed at 19th and hopefully 25th. Originally, we advertised it for 26th, but unfortunately, that's now clashing with another major commitment I've got. So I've requested that if people who have already booked don't mind, we move this to 25th. On the 19th workshop, we're allowing 1 hour and 20 minutes maximum, typically 1 hour for the workshop itself in terms of introducing what this climate simulation model is all about, and what is the structure, and what are those principal parameters. And we are hoping that at the end of that workshop with Q&A, we will develop some understanding of what it is, what is the structure, how does it forecast temperature rise to 2100, and essentially what are its fundamental parameters that we can play with to see if we did this or did that, how much impact is it scientifically going to calculate for it. In the second workshop, we are hoping to then use that initial understanding and knowledge to try and see of these classes of parameters that are fundamental to rising temperature and increasing carbon emission, which ones can be mapped to local initiatives. In a sense, what's in it for us? How do we go about, I don't know, waste disposal? Are there anything that we can learn from this scientific way of looking at climate change in a way that guide us in an objective and hopefully at some stage measurable way to introduce a local action on an individual, on a community, a borough-wide or even London-wide basis to resort to activities that are really impactful and meaningful. So 2 workshops. This is, of course, a proposal that I took to Francis. We discussed it together. It's a kind of a social enterprise and initiative. We have a go. If we go anywhere, we would then introduce more workshops to follow these things up. And obviously, even the experience of running these workshops, I think, would be a valuable learning for the local community.